Welcome in. Today I'm going to be making a creamy turkey casserole, or you could use chicken. Works great with either one. I'm going to be serving this with a green salad, but I won't go through that since everybody probably already knows how to do that. So I'm going to start off with the pasta. And I like to weigh out the pasta, especially if the recipe is using weight. That way when I use, instead of getting sometimes a half or sometimes more than half or whatever, I get like 8 ounces out of a 16-ounce bag. So next time I still have 8 ounces left. And I am using bowtie pasta, which I think is really nice for this recipe. Now that the pasta is measured out, we'll set a pot of water on to boil here. And I'm going to add just a bit of salt. It's always good to add some salt at this point. Not too much, but it does help a lot with the salt level in your dish. After a few minutes, the water is boiling. So we'll add our pasta. And then we'll turn the heat down on the burner. We just want it to have a kind of a low rolling boil. Doesn't need to be a fast boil. I'm going to set a timer for about 10 minutes, but of course cook it to the directions on your package. And it's a good idea to stir it every so often, make sure it's not sticking down. Next I'm going to go ahead and preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Okay, time to check the pasta here. So I'll just stir it up a little bit and then I'll test one and see how done it is. That's pretty good. So we'll go ahead and take it off the heat and set it aside. Okay, next up I'm just going to weigh out the the vegetables, and I'm using a bag of frozen mixed vegetables. We need 8 ounces, and that's a 16-ounce bag again. So I'll just use 8 ounces and take about half of it. Okay, so start the pan heating up here. I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of butter. And I just want to melt that down and wait till the pan gets hot. I do like to kind of stir it around and spread it out on the pan. Alright, so the butter's all melted. I'm going to add the frozen mixed vegetables. What we're going to do here is just cook it a little bit, thaw it out because it is frozen, and we also want to make sure it's kind of close to done. It's always bad when you take your casserole out of the oven and your vegetables are still crunchy. Got to check on the vegetables here, stir them around a bit, make sure the pan's not too hot. Just want to cook them through, we don't want to burn them. Next I'm going to chop up the turkey into bite-sized chunks here. This is just turkey breast that I have left over from Christmas dinner. This is a great use for that after you get tired of eating it every day. And of course, you want to make sure you remove any like skin or gristle or something that you find in there. So I'll just leave this here till I'm ready to dump it in the pan. Stir the vegetables again, see how they're doing. I'm adding 3 tablespoons of flour here. We're going to start to make the roux for our sauce. Now, roux is basically the 2 tablespoons of butter, which is, in the pan there, and then the 3 tablespoons of flour. And we just want to mix this up good and cook it for a minute or 2 so we don't have that raw flour taste. And it is best if you get the flour mixed in well with the butter or the roux, or you might have lumps in your roux. Now we're going to add our 1 cup of milk, and we're going to stir that, and we want to bring this up to a boil real quick here, so it will start to thicken up. And make sure you stir it around good you don't want any lumps in there. After a few minutes, our sauce is nice and thick there. Might be getting a little thick, so we're going to turn the heat off and pull the pan off of the burner. We don't want it to continue to cook here. We'll stir it up good. Sauce thickened now, we're going to add our 1 can of creamy chicken soup. And it is kind of a cheat, but it does make a nice creamy sauce, and it adds quite a bit of flavor. Now I like to rinse it with a little bit of water. Try to get more of that soup out of the can. Next, we're going with a 1/2 cup of sour cream. We just need to mix that in well. So that does take a minute or 2 here. Now I'm just going to take a second here to season it up. Just the salt and the pepper here before I add in the turkey. This is an easy point to do it. And I do like to use a finer salt, like a table salt or a fine sea salt or something when I'm doing the seasoning, because it dissolves faster. If you use kosher salt, you're not quite sure. It can get saltier after you taste it. So I'll just grab a spoon, give it a little taste, a little bit more. Now I did use the unsalted creamy chicken soup, so I'm going to add a little more soup or a little more salt than if you use just the regular soup. Alright, now we're ready for the turkey. Slide that in there. And of course, we just want to mix this all up well. Now, this is a point you might think about if you want to use a bowl or not. You can get a large bowl, dump this in there, and then later on when we add the pasta there, it will be easier to stir. I like to minimize the number of pans I use or dishes so I have less to wash. So I'm going to try to stir it here in this pan. You can see here how nice and creamy that sauce is, thick and creamy, just the way we like it. Alright, got our 8x8 baking dish here. Just give it a little spray of oil. Oh, maybe it won't stick as bad. Wash a little easier. We're going to dump in our pasta that we drained, of course. And now the sauce and the turkey. This is where the bowl might be easier, of course. It definitely is easier. But I think I can mix it right here in the pan. That's my favorite kind of spatula, spoonula, I guess they're called. It's kind of half spoon, half spatula. I love this thing. Got her all mixed up. Smooth it out nice. Next up, we're going to do the cheese. I'm using a shredded Italian blend, but you can just use mozzarella. But this is mostly mozzarella, but it's got some other stuff in it. Good melty Italian cheese, good. Of course, it's clumped in the back there. Spread it out, nice even layer. This will make a nice gooey topping on there. Now I'm just going to wipe off the excess on the sides there so it doesn't burn onto the pan. Now I'm going to cover this with foil so that while it's baking, the cheese doesn't cook too fast. Too much on there, we don't want it too dark. And we'll uncover it at the end when we're cooking. Let the cheese get a little more color. So stick it in the 350 degree oven. We're going to bake that first. Alright, it's been 30 minutes now. Pull it out here. We're going to uncover it, and I also just like to check it with the temperature probe to see where it's at. Generally, it's not something you need to worry about with this. But it's about 150 or there, so we're actually it's a little lower, I think. We'd like to hit a little higher than that, but 150 is pretty good as long as you leave it in there for 5-10 minutes. But we're going to put it back in anyway for another 15. It's not really bubbling yet. All right, it's been about 15 minutes. Pull it out and check it here. You can see it's got a little more color on it, a few spots of browning. And I'll just check the probe again. But it's going to be good, about 165. Now I like a little more color, so I want to put it back in at 450 for just a few minutes. Here we go. Okay, now I think that looks good. You can see it steaming and bubbling there, so we're good to go. There we go. Gonna serve it at buffet style there. Got the casserole, we got green salad, got our dressings and croutons and everything. Good color on that, looks great. And here's my plate, all pretty. Thanks for watching.